Hey traders, Raghee here. I'm going to walk you through today a couple classic setups. These are the kind of setups we use over and over again in the live chat. They're what I talk about in the premium video. And the reason I want to share them with you here today is you can see how things unfolded today, and then you can kind of mark and see how they go moving forward. So two of the trades, these are two popular markets. So I'm going to grab two of the popular markets, and this is the Dow and the crude oil market. So first of all, one of the things that we've been talking about on crude, we've done this a number of times already, is the resistance we're looking at between 50, the even 50 level, and the 200 period simple moving average. So the closer we get to this 50 level and the closer we get to these box high levels, the more I'm thinking the market's ready to roll over. But the problem is I've got really about a full point to point and change of unknown in terms of where the resistance might ultimately kick in. So what I want to do then is look at the way in which we've exhausted in this area. So hindsight, this is easy. Okay, so what level do I short? Do I short 49.95? Absolutely. Could I short all the way up into 50.40? Absolutely. In fact, I could short all the way up into 51.15. But which level is it? So when we have the unknown or a very wide area, like what we have right here, we can do one of two things. I'm going to show you how to go with the intraday, okay? Or you can go with just start to price puts. We'll talk about pricing puts some other time. Today we're going to go with the intraday setup. So I would immediately say thanks daily time frame for the help. I'm going to go refer to an intraday time frame for what we call the rollover. That means that I want to find a time frame that's already been trending up higher with a good uptrend and then take advantage of the broken uptrend or a broken swing. Now, is the 5-minute a good candidate for this? No, it's actually got too many, minor breaks and tests for me to really trust that an uptrend of this kind would roll over once the 34 EMA is broken. So my trust is low. We don't go here. Next choice, the 15. So squeeze some more data in here. The 15 is a definite maybe, and it was on our radar. Because while it did have some trouble back in here, that was chopped, so that's okay. I don't mind that. But then we started to organize into an uptrend. So after about 4 a.m., 2, 3, 4 a.m., this looks much better as a trend following swing by. And then when we break the 34 EMA, we've already got good respect for the wave. So I respect the break of the wave that much more. So 15 is definitely something we could think about. And then you go out to the 30. Did the 30 have a good uptrend? It looked a lot like the 15. All right. So now what do? Now we start to look at where we could see the breakdown and where if we break a box or if we break the 34 EMA, we can get short. Well, this worked across the 15, the 30, and the 60. All of them were viable. The difference was whether or not you take a break through 49.80 or whether you end up taking a break through basically 49.60. If I have a minor psychological level, like a 20 or an 80, or a major psychological level, like a 00 and a 50, I'll typically opt to take advantage of that price break, which usually will have some stops being run through it. And in this case, it made for a very nice stacked level on the 15-minute time frame. But remember, this intraday trade all started, and that's called a wave rollover. This whole thing started because I was looking for resistance here on the daily, but I didn't want to guess within this very wide range where it would ultimately exhaust. So we can get much more pinpoint and momentum-based entry by going to the intraday. All right, I'm going to give you another example here, and this is an intraday Dow play. Now, this was less about trying to get long and more about the fact that it looks like the Dow's pulling back and following an intraday trend into the open. So the open meaning the 9:30 Wall Street bell. So we had an 8:30 economic event. So if you're not keeping an eye on the economic calendar, man, you're just missing out on catalysts that can give you tremendous opportunity. So we had a number of events at 8:30, and I said, okay, thank you, PPI, unemployment claims. Maybe you'll give me some volatility. That's the catalyst, and I'll get my fill. 15-minute time frame. We can pre-calculate price movement range expectations. We can then also have a pretty good idea of where the market could exhaust if it were to head straight up. And that's where we took a position on the aftermath of the 8:30 economic release with a fill here on this candle right there. The 945 candle hit our target, and it just basically rolled over and gave us a pretty nice downtrend throughout the day. Now, why was I interested in the 15-minute candle? Well, first of all, pre-market, it was already heading lower. So I had an intraday trend here. If I was interested in the buy, I would wait for a wave rollover. But the way in which the market's, really in tune to the geopolitical tension between the U.S. and North Korea with the issues in Guam, it's easier right now to play risk aversion. Gold is very strong right now. You're seeing the yen very strong right now. You're seeing the Swiss franc very strong right now. So yeah, we have risk aversion, and it's easier just to play the intraday shorts across Dow, NAS, the equities. Nikkei has been taking it on the chin in the Asian session. So those are cues that will give you an idea. But these are intraday plays. End of day plays have been a whole lot harder. Okay, I'll talk more about how to manage that in the premium video. But here's what I want to talk about here. Number one, in the chat room, we talk about these. We call these live in the chat. You can ask questions with the moderators. I was doing this trade this morning, and that's one of the benefits from just being in the morning. I'm in there for 90 minutes in the morning, from 8 to basically the open. So these are things I can prepare for the remainder of the day. And then things like the hourly price movement ranges and picking the direction. We wanted NAS and S&P shorts intraday too, right? So I'll talk about those setups as well as the crop report and what next with the crude oil market. Yesterday, in the premium video, I talked about the crude oil hourly PMR technique. So a lot of you might see some echoes of that in today's crude oil trade. We'll talk about the Nikkei, gold, and the euro, Aussie, and the Canadian dollar in the premium video. Catch up with you then.